we probably, neither you or I ever breathed the air where the actual decisions were made or conversations were had.
Yeah.
Do you think it's even possible or plausible that Bush didn't know exactly what the agency was up to?
You know what? That's a great question. And until 10 years ago, I would have said, no, not possible. But then George Tenet wrote something in his memoir that was just stupefying. He said that he had taken the draft finding to create the torture program to the White House. And he was going in to have the president sign the finding. But Dick Cheney was in the anteroom and he says, "Oh, hi, George. What are you doing here?" And he said, "Oh, I've got the finding, the finished finding. I'm here for the president's signature." And Cheney took it from him and said, "I'll get the president to sign it." And George said, "No, that's okay. I already have the appointment." Cheney said, "No, I'll get the president to sign it." So George gave Cheney the finding and went back to headquarters. George said in whatever it was, 2016 or whenever his memoir came out, that he finally concluded that either Cheney never showed the president the finding or just asked for his signature without telling him what it was. And so when Bush claimed ignorance, we all mocked him. Like, what kind of moron thinks that the American people would believe that the president of the United States didn't know that this program was ongoing? You know what? I'm thinking that the man didn't know. I think that Cheney kept it from him.
Yeah, I could see both of those being true. I can 100% see the argument being made from a politician. Well, we need to insulate the president. We'll make these decisions and then we'll brief him when necessary, because then if he's called to the table on it, he's not going to necessarily be responsible.
That's right.
And even in the Navy, like the SEAL community is part of a larger Navy. It's like 0.001% of the Navy. The chief, the most senior naval admiral, which I don't think comes from the spec war community, isn't going to have necessarily oversight of all the cover programs that may exist inside of the Navy, but yet they are responsible for them to a degree. So I can see that. God, it's fascinating if you look into how much power Cheney had inside of the Bush White House and how
it's really crazy, to think. There was this movie that came out, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago called Vice.
It's great. I saw it. Yeah,
I saw it on a plane. Yes, he was brilliant. I saw it on a plane, and I was like, "Oh my God, they hit this on the head." This was Dick Cheney. They really hit it on the head. The man was president. He was in charge of everything. And that was the deal that he struck with Bush. Bush had this bad habit of asking people to head up, blue ribbon panels or whatever to make a recommendation on personnel. And then he would just choose the head of the blue ribbon panel instead of the person that they recommended. He did that with Harriet Miers for the Supreme Court. And then she ended up having to withdraw. But he did that as well with Dick Cheney. He asked Cheney, "Find me a vice president." Cheney gave him 3 or 4 names, and then he said, no, I'd rather have you. "Well, Mr. Governor Bush, if you want me, I want to be in charge of foreign affairs, defense affairs, intelligence, energy, this one, that one, the other one." Okay. And then that was it.
The great scene in the movie. Yeah. They're in the backyard over lunch.
Great. I have no doubt that was true.
Fuck. You don't want to believe that is how the people who turn the levers of power or move the levers of power are selected.
Oh, buddy, listen, let me tell you.
I do not want to believe that's the case. Yeah.
Let me tell you. I used to go on the Tucker Carlson show all the time when he was on Fox. And we were talking about John Brennan one time. And I took a swipe at Brennan, deservedly. I said, Brennan was in over his head intellectually. Well, I didn't say that to be mean. I said that because I've known John Brennan for 35 years. And I'm telling you, the man was in over his head intellectually. Well, there are a lot of people like that in government. Just because you're successful at clawing your way to the top on the backs of the people around you doesn't make you the smartest person in the room. It makes you a sociopath, but it doesn't make you the smartest person in the room. And we got that all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. I almost think that's the political ladder. It's almost the template for the political ladder. It's not the people who are the most benevolent or I don't know. I actually kicked this one around in my head. Is it the sociopath that wants to be a politician, or is the system so toxic and polluted that it can turn the most benevolent among us? They see like I can't do anything unless I align on party lines. Either way, I mean, neither of those are a great answer. Actually,
no, but you know what? There very well could be something to that. I worked with a guy. I was mentor to a young case officer named Will Hurd. So Will was around for, I don't know, 8 or 10 years. He was a good case officer. He's half black, half white, which is important because he decided to resign from the agency and run for Congress. And he ran in a Supreme Court mandated majority Hispanic district. It's the 23rd district of Texas. It goes all along the border, just follows the border. And he won.